Greetings. It's your buddy, your pal, your friend, your teacher, your guide, the uncle, the father, the big brother that you never had, ABW. This is the MACK Manual recording audio experience. and let's get the particulars out the way, man. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, you know. And a topic that someone asked me, a couple of people asked me about is why do why does it seem that pimps, players, max, guys of a certain ilk that operate a certain way, you know, ladies, men, whatever. Why do they tend to inordinately have nothing but daughters, or have a lot of daughters, more daughters? You know. Now there is there's a biological reason for that. Uh, you know, we can make things fit in a narrative that we that confirms a belief. Uh, the fact of the matter is, I've said this before, that there are more women born than men. Um, that's a pretty much an empirical, data-driven fact. Most parts of the world, women outnumber men 7-1. Some places you even see like 15-1. From a from a biological standpoint, we are all technically born women. Two X chromosomes, and then somewhere through the early development stages, um, you can develop a Y chromosome. So that's what happened to me, and that's what happened to, if you're a guy listening, that's what happened to you. So that develops you into the makeup of a man. So that's what makes you different, is you have an X and a Y chromosome instead of two X chromosomes. You learn that in school. You should have learned that in school, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So that there's a biological reason for it. But, if you want to take a deeper dive into it, more esoteric look into it, a lot of people would be like, well, it's karma, or it's God having a sense of humor, it's payback, all these things that people like to say. And I used to think that myself, I have 3 daughters, all girls. And of course, I've lived a life of prolific entertainment of women, right? In all capacities, right? Just is what it is. You could call me a player, call me a pimp at some point, call me a Mac in the traditional sense. I'm a Mac, a man of aptitude, charm, and character and knowledge. So, but anyway, again, yeah, I used to, as a youngster, that's a source of pride. That's a source of entertainment to be a ladies' man, right? So yeah, I live that life, and so you could say that me having all daughters, all girls, is payback, karma. So let's explore that. If we want to subscribe to that premise, let's talk about why that is. And let's talk about being a girl dad. Let's talk about the benefits of being a girl dad. Okay? And let's talk about all the aspects of being a girl dad. I'm just going to go right into it. I'm kind of freestyling, but I just want to talk about this. So, when my last child was born, when she was conceived and we were going through that process of her, my wife being pregnant, and going through that process of debating on, is it going to be a boy? Is it going to be a girl? What's the name going to be if it's a boy? You know how that is. If you had kids, you know how that goes. It's a magical, special time. Okay. I knew in my heart, I promise, and I never felt a conviction like this. But and now that when I look back on it, it was me kind of fooling myself because like you understand how the mind works, or you understand how, or you know about manifesting, like really making things happen. And I really wanted a boy. I'll admit that. And I just had it in my mind. I had to resolve in my mind that this is going to be a boy. But in the back of my mind, in my heart of hearts, I knew I was going to have another girl. I knew it, but I didn't let my mind go there because I figured I'm going to manipulate the fates, the gods. I'm going to manipulate this situation. I'm going to mentally create a boy. And it's funny. It's funny because I feel like I got caught off guard. Like I think I remember the nut. I think I remember the nut that I bust for my youngest child. And it was like I wasn't ready because I had a plan. We had, and God, God has plans way different, bigger than us, right? And my youngest child, she's special. I love her. She has such a strong leadership quality. She makes our household complete. She really does. I couldn't imagine her being anything else. Can't miss what she never had, but I couldn't imagine her being anything else. But I before, because my middle child and my youngest, they're 2 years apart, and so but when you're in the midst of living life, you just have a baby. That 2 years passes fast. Remember, it takes 9 months to create, to get there. So it really was like a year and some change before we found out we were pregnant with my last child. And so, when you first have a baby, the time flies so fast. Like you're caught up in the energy of that. And so I had it in my mind that when we were going to, we knew we were going to try for one last one, but we were going to wait and do it in a whenever we thought we were ready. You're never ready. And I had been studying and reading about different techniques, different things you could do to ensure that you could determine, you could manipulate what the sex would be. So I was like, I was studying for that. But this particular time that me and my wife convened, it just happened. And I felt like, I wasn't ready. Like, cause my technique I didn't get to put my technique, so-called technique that I was going to use, make a boy. And I was like, man, nah, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And so, so lo and behold, I had a girl. So anyway, just to give you a little backstory. I don't know why I said that really. But anyway, girls, females, living in a house full of females, right? Me coming from living a lifestyle that I did. It's incumbent. I feel a responsibility. Do I feel like it's payback? Do I feel like it's some type of curse, so to speak. Nah, I don't. I feel like it's an opportunity. I feel like it's an opportunity to shape and mold and create and put out into the earth, into the world, ideal women. I know I'm going to eventually give away my 3 daughters to some man. I can't control how this man's parents raise him and who he is, whoever he is out there. All I can do is I can raise my kids, my children, my daughters to understand in full context the nature of a man in all its glory, in all its optimal setting, and understand a man at his lowest nature. Understand a man in his fullness. And so when you are a man with daughters, and especially if you have the experience, you have the knowledge of being a ladies' man, a knowledge of women that is superior than the average man. And I can say humbly that I believe I have that. That the experience just teaches you things. And I'm very transparent, especially with my oldest. My oldest is she'll be graduating soon. Getting old. She's older. She has a very clear understanding. And very blessed to have a well-adjusted child, because from early on, we kind of grew up together. So when she was born, I was still very much entrenched in debauchery, but it was tempered and tapered because when she was born, whole intention was to be the best father I could be. That superseded everything, no matter what. Now, again, I was still immature, still made a lot of mistakes, but I've never been out of her life. I've probably never been more than a few days without actually seeing her, ever. And I don't think I've ever missed a 24-hour period without speaking to her. That goes for all my kids. And again, I see it as an opportunity to raise the best, the perfect, not perfect, there's no such thing, but the best version of what a man would want, because she's going to understand a man in his optimal nature. She's going to understand a man in his lowest nature, and understand how to give grace, and understand how to stand firm on her boundaries. She's going to understand how to serve a man. I have to come to grips with the fact that my kids, my daughters will serve their man. I have to, I know a lot of guys want to create these. A lot of guys don't want their daughters to be what they want their wives to be. And my middle child, she says she loves our name, our last name. She said she wants to keep her last name when she marries. And I said, no, you're going to take your husband's last name. And if you marry a guy if you're involved with a guy who is okay with you keeping your last name, unfortunately, that's probably most likely not the guy for you. I was flattered. I was honored by the fact that she would like to hold on to our name, my name. I have to come to grips with the fact that my name, our name, won't carry on. It's a big thing with oh, carry on the family name. Hey, I don't give a damn. I don't. I really don't. I love my last name, but I don't give a damn. You know, it don't make shit. It don't make a shit to me. It really don't. Uh, but again, I was honored that she would, but I had to, kind of sit her down and, explain to her, if you are, I want you to marry a man who is a man, who is going to be a leader to you. And that's hard for some men to really come to grips with. But you want your daughters to be the wife that you would want. And so you teach them how to be that. You teach them how to be that from day one, from early on. You teach them how to be submissive. It's a gripping, chilling thought for a man to think of their daughter submitting to another man. But if you demonstrate it, it really is a way of accountability. It's a checks and balance system for a man, especially a man who has had lots of dealings with women and is, superior minded when it comes to women. It's a checks and balance because it forces you an accountability system that creates this space for you to always be the best version of yourself. Now that's something that we should all naturally do, but life has a way of putting things in your life that force you not to revert to our lower carnal self. We as human beings have a tendency to if the opportunity presents itself, to be lax, to be lazy, to not push ourselves to higher heights. When you have a daughter, it would force you, if you are minded in that, if you have that type of mind, which you should. And that's why you're listening to me, because if you haven't had that awareness, that mindset, then that's what I'm trying to impart to you. Be sensible, be realistic. You want your daughter to be the best, the version of wife that you would want. It's an opportunity to compare and contrast, and be transparent. Tell them. I tell stories. We as human beings, we understand and we learn best in stories. Make associative distinctions and indelible marks in our brain through stories. So I tell stories all the time that either involve their mom, and their mom loves to bring up some of my past misdeeds, whatever she does know about. She doesn't, my wife doesn't know about a whole lot of things, and she don't need to know. It just, it is what it is. But yeah, she'll throw in my face some past transgressions, and I don't run from that. I'm very much an open book about things that I used to do. My mindset as a young man, as a cautionary tale, as a lesson to teach my daughters what a typical young man's mindset is. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's very much she's a gorgeous, charismatic young lady, and I know that young guys, are after her. But it's kind of funny when I do watch, from my purview. I can't keep eyes on her all the time, and I have to trust her. I have to trust her judgment. I have to trust my teaching and her reception of that judgment. And she's proven herself and shown herself to be very much. She's received my lessons over the years. She doesn't entertain boys like that. Like she's very skeptical. I don't want to make my daughters cynical now. I don't want to make them cynical to the point that they don't trust men, but I just want them to be very much aware. And I want them to be as independent and as self-sufficient as possible, because that's going to create the space for when the right man comes along. It's going to create just a healthier space for both of them. That will create the space for the best man to come in and know that he's getting someone who is an equally yoked partner, someone who can really add value to his life. And I believe inherently, naturally, my grooming my daughters to be as powerful and as self-sufficient and as well-rounded of women that they can be, that will naturally attract a higher caliber of man. Naturally, you don't want to see your daughters attract quote unquote broke ass. Now I do want them to understand that there is room for kingdom building. There's room for attracting a man who has a potential, but you never want to see your daughter struggle financially. You definitely don't want to see them be in a toxic, unhealthy relationship mentally, verbal abuse, those type of things. And women, people always we say, "Oh, well, you're gonna have to get your shotgun and da da da." No. The only way I will intervene ever, the only way I will ever have to intervene with my daughter's relationship is if they are in physical harm. Now, even the mental, even a level of mental abuse, I'm here to, if they come to me and if I'm aware of it, I will throw in my 2 cents. I will give my advice, but I can't come in and save them from quote unquote so-called verbal abuse. If that's in their relationship, once they're out of my house and they're under the presiding of another man, I would like that to be their husband. That's what I'm teaching them. The principles that I'm teaching them, that that should be your husband. No, the old folks say shacking up. No, I did that. Me and their mom did that. Yeah, and we did things out of order, and we have had way more suffering and unnecessary issues because of that. And we've, thank God we've made it through. We've hit certain milestones, but you don't want, if you can do things the right way, do things the right way. There's a reason why God designed things a certain way. When you go out of order, you do pay for that. But other than that, dealing with a man who possibly would cheat on them and stuff like that, that's not for me to intervene in. It's just not. If I find out, now I will snitch. I'll snitch on that shit. If I was to be like just at a bar, just say create a scenario, I'm out. This is years down the line. I'm out, and they're with their significant other, or their significant other that I know I see them out cheating. Yeah, I'm a snitch. I'm gonna get around on the phone like, hey, I might confront him. I won't confront him in a in an adversarial way. I'm gonna just make sure that he knows that I know. I'm like, what's up, man? Oh, who's this? Who's this? Oh, okay, good, cool, 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 and just keep it player, keep it cool. But I want him to know that I know. Goddamn. Now, and I will. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna tell. Well, I ain't gonna say my kid's name. I'm gonna tell you I seen you. Okay. All right. Yeah, man. Good to see you, bro. Probably won't see you again, huh? Yeah, keep a player like that. And I'm a goofy ass nigga anyway, so yeah. Now, only way that I will intervene beyond that is if you cause physical harm to my kids, to my daughters. Then I'm liable to put you in the ground. If not put you in the hospital, I will put you in the ground. It's gonna be one of those. You're gonna be in the hospital at the very least. And then of course, at the most extreme, I'm gonna put you in the ground. And that's my word. I'll sit down for that. If I have to take that, I'm willing, ready, willing, and able to sit down for that. Now, when I say sit down, you know what I mean. I'll spend time the rest of my life if I have to behind bars. If a nigga puts his hands on my daughter, any three of them, any of the three, you do that, you're going in the hospital, possibly in the ground. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's I'm not involving no police. No, I'm going to hand you the justice that you deserve. I will do it. I will do it. But anyway, I'm getting a little passionate about that shit. Look at me getting passionate, dog. It ain't even happened, dog. It won't happen. I hope it won't happen. It won't. I hope it won't happen. I'm not gonna speak that shit. But yeah, that's what it is. But anyway, lessons that you learn from just women, period, but especially your daughters, is that they again, the accountability forces you to be the best version of yourself, force you to be transparent. I tell my daughters pretty much everything. They know pretty much everything. I told them, yeah, I've done some pimping. I've conducted transactions for sexual favors. I've done that. Again, anybody who knows me, no judgment of morality, but I know my first mentor was a real live pimp from Louisiana. And then, he made his way through the pimp circuit, Chicago, the Bay, Las Vegas. He did that. Los Angeles, he did that thing. So he rubbed elbows with Bishop Don Juan, with Seymour, with all them, So he was a real pimp. And I know how serious the real pimps take that, and so I wouldn't disrespect that lifestyle and call myself a pimp. I was doing some fake pimping. I was doing some part-time pimping, I would say. But yeah, I facilitated sexual favors, sexual transactions, right? Done that. I've been a gigolo, Mac pimp, gigolo style nigga, fuck on the bitch and get, she take me shopping and all that type shit, just young nigga shit. That's a nigga that can have his way with women. You take advantage of that, and I've been transparent with my daughters about that, and all its and they look at me disgustingly, but they not so much disgustingly. They be like, "Oh, Dad, you're crazy," But I gotta be real with them. Like I have to make them understand that there are guys like that, and they don't love me any less. They don't judge me. But and the thing about daughters, thing about females, is their intuition, their nature, their ability to. You can't bullshit. I can't bullshit my daughters for nothing. Like nothing gets past them. They catch everything. They see everything. Um, I have that. I believe that's one of my gifts is being kind of clairvoyant. And being clairvoyant is not. People think clairvoyant is seeing the future. Now, clairvoyant is seeing beyond the senses. It's having heightened intuition, being able to read energy, and I believe that's one of my gifts. And women naturally have that more, but I think my daughters have that very much so. Just getting it from me, and then being their female nature, they have their intuition, their reading of energy is top notch. And I can't lie to them. I won't lie to them. I don't lie to them, but say I'm just kind of bullshitting with them. They catch everything. They know things before I even say it. They pick up on things. Like I just can't bullshit them at all. And that's a good thing because it forces me to stay on my squares. It forces me to stay on my P's and Q's. Forces me to stay on my game. And so you can't get lazy with daughters. Forces you to keep some money in your pocket, goddamn, because they expensive than a motherfucker. And yeah, man, having daughters is a beautiful thing, man. And why Iceberg Slim, he had all daughters, uh, beautiful daughters too. A lot of, for some reason, a lot of players that I've ever seen, former players, current players, just seem to all have inordinately more daughters. It's just a thing. Now I can't say my best friend. My best friend, who I did uh, a lot of playing with, he has all boys. That's so that kind of flies in the face of that theory. But I just wanted to talk about, really just give me an opportunity to talk about female nature from a different aspect and talk about having daughters. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. If you really are cognizant of the full ramifications, if you really take it seriously, raising daughters, it can be a great thing because again, it forces you to be the best version of yourself. Not unlike having a wife. If you really want to get the best out of your wife, it's going to force you to be the best version of yourself. If you want to raise well-adjusted, non uh, non what's the word I'm looking for? Non traumatic field daughters that attract the right men, then you want to teach them everything that you know as a man. You want to show them what it's like. Give your girls an opportunity to serve you, much like your wife would. Give your daughters an opportunity to uh, see you put in the work. My daughters see me on my knees, doing my spiritual work, giving praises to a greater power than me. My daughters see me working out. They see me conducting business. They see me being disciplined. They see me serving their mom. They see their mom serving me. They see they see me being transparent, being vulnerable. They see me being strong in the face of adversity. They see me apologize and show that I don't have it all. I don't have all the answers. I don't fake and funk with my kids. I don't act like I know all the answers, and I make it very obvious. I make it very clear that I can learn from them, and I do learn from them just as much as they learn from me. And I want them to uh, be able to say what they need to say to me respectfully, and it's always about respect. Now, again, I've said before, I am never me myself. I am never above reproach. Um, you know, the lessons that I teach them, they have a way of sometimes reminding me of the lessons that I teach them for my own good. For me to remind myself, put my own lessons into practice, and that's a good thing because it means that it's being received. It means that they're learning, and so I can't speak for having sons. I have nephews. I have godsons. I try to take a very active role in their lives. I try to be someone involved in my community, and I want to do that more. I plan on doing that more as far as being involved in the community. But it's nothing I can't simulate and duplicate having sons of my own. So, you know, there's a lot of lessons you can learn from having daughters. That's all I want to really talk about. It's your buddy, your pal, your friend, your teacher, your guide. AVW, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace and blessings. Sayonara. Take care.